it really feels that BlackBerry is coming back. More and more online, I'm seeing posts about people using BlackBerries, whether it's nostalgia reasons or people just being fed up with modern smartphones. Now, I think this is a trend that's continuing to grow, and with that, multiple devices are being released. It feels like every day a new device is being announced that has a QWERTY keyboard. But all of these devices have different target audiences. Some are dumb phones, some are smartphones, and some are older BlackBerries being renovated and upgraded. Now, in order to break down why is BlackBerry coming back? Why is there a BlackBerry renaissance? I think you have to dive into what's happening in the smartphone market as it is. It feels like every device that's coming out more or less looks the same, has the same applications, and just sucks us in and wastes our life. A lot of us remember using BlackBerries as productivity workhorses. We could send multiple emails, write books, do whatever we wanted with our device, and as social media came out more and more, it feels like BlackBerry got left behind. They tried to adapt, of course, by creating BlackBerry Android devices, which was a hybrid of having a full-fledged smartphone with a QWERTY keyboard, but it just didn't work out. It seems now people are having regrets and a serious case of nostalgia because people want to go back to using keyboards again. Keyboards have a lot of benefits, and it makes you more intentional when using your device. As somebody who's visually impaired, I prefer using keys because I can make shortcuts and not have to rely on visual cues for my device. As a long-term BlackBerry or Crackberry addict, I have quite a collection of BlackBerries with different operating systems, and I can definitely tell you which devices would potentially work for you in 2025. But with that being said, there are different options out there, especially for those of you living in countries which may not have 3G or 2G networks. Unfortunately, a lot of older BlackBerry devices are no longer supported by major carriers. So this really limits your options when you're trying to use a vintage BlackBerry. But don't worry, there are devices on the horizon and devices that are currently out that could meet your fix for using a QWERTY device. Now, the devices I'm going to cover kind of cover a wide range of different use cases. When you're choosing a device, keep in mind how you want to use that device. Do you need specific apps for communication? Do you want a fully fledged smartphone? Are you trying to reduce your screen addiction? There are so many devices coming out with keyboards. You can choose from which device you would like according to your use case. Now, recently, a lot of people have been talking about the Zinwa Q25. This is an interesting device to say the least. As you can see, it's very recognizable because this is based, of course, on the BlackBerry Classic or Q20, but with some upgraded internals. These upgrades include memory upgrades, so 12 gigabytes of RAM, a battery upgrade, new cameras, new everything inside basically. This kind of brings the old nostalgia feeling of BlackBerry into 2025. I myself was hesitant about this project, but I can affirm I've backed it recently because I've rediscovered my love for BlackBerry, especially the BlackBerry keyboard. Nothing beats a perfectly designed and implemented BlackBerry keyboard. The Q20 is no exception, so I'm thinking the Q25 could be an excellent device to try out. Another company that's noted for BlackBerry fanatics is the Titan devices. Recently, Unihertz has released the Titan 2, which is a QWERTY device, of course, and a lot of people are backing this project because it is a modern smartphone with a QWERTY keyboard. So if you're somebody who wants all of the conveniences of a modern smartphone, but still have that physical keyboard element, this could be an interesting device for you. If you've tried out Unihertz devices in the past, you will know what to expect. But if you've never tried Unihertz, you'll notice that it is similar to a BlackBerry device, but not quite the same. The keyboard is a bit different. The device design is nothing like a BlackBerry design, but you do have the keyboard. So there are some compromises to make when choosing different devices like this. Another device that has been launched within the past couple weeks is the IKKO Mind One. Now this is a small phone by definition, 4.1 display, I believe, or a 4-inch display. And it has the option for a keyboard case that can be detachable. So if you don't want to have your keyboard all the time, you can take off that case and just use it as a small phone, which could be convenient for those of you who like to hike and run and not have a bulky device in your pocket. But the keyboard has not been reviewed, and we don't have much information on how that keyboard will perform. And the device itself, for me, leaves some hesitation. There is a lot of promotion regarding AI. I'm not somebody who wants AI all over my devices, and that's one of the reasons I kind of am attracted to using BlackBerry devices in general, is just going back to simpler times when operating systems were secure and private and not flooded with AI garbage that nobody asked for. A couple more interesting devices on the horizon, of course, is Keyphone. Keyphone is a dumb phone by definition. You won't be using any apps, you can't sideload on this device, but it does have a QWERTY keyboard. Another interesting project coming up as well is the Sidephone project. The Sidephone is an intentionally designed device. It will have some key applications such as communication apps, productivity apps, but you won't be able to add all of those social media and doom scrolling apps. I think this is a great compromise device for those of you wanting to spend time away from your device, but still use it for productivity and communication. And lastly, if you already have a device, chances are there might be a QWERTY option for you. If you just have that itch to use a QWERTY phone, but you don't want to invest in a new phone or find a BlackBerry that works with your carrier, you can check out Qlikks. Qlikks has an array of different keyboards for certain devices such as iPhones, Pixels, and even the Razorberry. If you have a Motorola Razr that is compatible with this particular keyboard, you'll see that it looks very reminiscent of a BlackBerry device, and I think it's a good compromise if you already have that device on hand. But if you're somebody like me and a BlackBerry purist, you do have different options for your BlackBerry devices. Now, if you don't have carrier support for 2G, you might have to just leave aside some older BlackBerry models. I'm talking about BlackBerry Torch, Curve, Bold. All of these devices running BlackBerry 7, for example, may not work where you live. I live in France, we still have 2G support, so I can use these older BlackBerries, but I'm going to say that the call quality is not great, and it is very limiting. It is very much a dumb phone in 2025. Now, if you're somebody who wants a little bit of balance between a digital minimalist device and a modern device, you can check out BlackBerry 10 devices. These are, of course, the BlackBerry Classic, most notably the Q10, the Q5, as well as the BlackBerry Passport. Now, these devices can be more usable than the older BlackBerries, but again, you have to keep in mind that calls and texting may be using 3G networks and 4G for light data. So keep this in mind for your carrier. It might not work in your country and it might not work with your carrier. Again, I live in France, so I'm very lucky that we still, again, have 3G networks. I'm able to use the BlackBerry 10 devices, but be aware that the default apps in the BlackBerry 10 devices are very hit and miss. Some work perfectly fine, and sometimes you may find that you need to sideload or add APKs to your device. But luckily, the BlackBerry community is very, very passionate, and there are different APKs. It is very easy to install these. To be honest, I've made a couple videos about this on how to sideload apps, but there's also a great channel on YouTube called Project Berry 2.0. They show different options on how to add apps, games, and really use your BlackBerry in 2025. If you're somebody who is not willing to sideload or use older BlackBerries, you do have the option for the last models of the BlackBerry devices. These were the BlackBerry Android devices, but be aware that the Android version is quite old, so you have a little bit more risk when using certain apps such as banking. But otherwise, a lot of apps work surprisingly well on these devices. I'm talking about, of course, the BlackBerry Priv, the Key 1, and the Key 2. Now, the keyboards aren't quite the same for the Key 1 and Key 2 that were notable in the BlackBerry 10 devices because it was made by a different manufacturer, But honestly, I think the devices work great. I was using my BlackBerry Key One last year, and I did end up selling it off because I just don't like the combination of a full-fledged smartphone with the keyboard attachment. It's just not my style. I prefer BlackBerry 10 devices, but again, there's some compromises to be made. So whether you're looking at a newer device or looking to revive a vintage BlackBerry, you have so many options in 2025, and I'm really excited about the future. And even more so, we're seeing more revivals from the BlackBerry community, such as Crackberry Kevin. This week, a website was launched by Crackberry Kevin about potentially reviving BlackBerry altogether. Now, I'll leave the link down below. You can check it out. And just let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think it's possible that they can revive BlackBerry? I mean, my heart is always with BlackBerry, and if anyone could revive it, it's definitely Kevin. So with that being said, grab your BlackBerries, grab your keyboards, and let's go. 2025 is definitely the year of the physical keyboard. Thank you, channel members, for supporting the channel, and thank all of you for watching, and see you soon.